Right, patriotic, slam fight, bright light, feeling free signs. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. 6 o'clock TV hour, don't get caught in forward towers. Action, burn, return, listen to yourself turn. Walk him in uniform and book, burning blood, letting every motive escalate. Automotive incinerate, light a candle, light a motor. Step down, watch your heels crush, crush. Uh-oh, this me, no fear, cavalier, renegade, steer clear. A tournament of life. Offer me solutions, offer me alternatives, and I decline. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. And I feel fine. And I feel fine. Automatic, kryptonite, continental, truth defined. Mount say that I'm like Lander, Bernstein, wheel man, Brent, Stan, Wayne, Bruce, Lesser Bank, birthday party, cheesecake, jelly bean, boom. Symbiotic, patriotic, slam button, neck, right? It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine.
Yes, I feel fine, Doomers. Welcome to Music for the End of the World. Here on 93.7 Edge FM. I'm Chris, and I'm joined once again by Cass.
Good evening, Chris, and good evening, everyone.
Evening, Cass. And what a tumultuous week it's been, Cass, for us.
It has been a very, very big week.
And I'd like to give a big shout out to all the wonderful, beautiful staff down at Bega Hospital, particularly in the paediatric ward, who have been looking after our daughter and little newborn granddaughter. And we're so lucky to have a hospital like this.
Absolutely. Sometimes
In
you
our area.
take it for granted,
Yeah.
don't you? But just the fact of having facilities and care.
And
extremely
so
grateful.
lucky to be here in Australia, or you don't have to mortgage your home to
Pay
go to
your
the
medical
hospital.
bills.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank
Yep.
you very much, everyone down there, the lovely nurses and the 2 paediatricians. Thanks so much.
Yeah, maybe just always a reminder to just be grateful and appreciate what we have.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about tonight, Doomsters? Well, I was thinking I am going to be reading the last section of Catherine Ingram's essay entitled Essay on Extinction. And unfortunately, she took it offline because the changes were happening so quickly, and there was a whole lot of new stuff with AI and transhumanism and all sorts of things like that. So the reason she said was that changes were happening too quickly, that it took too much of her time continually updating her essay. And that's how I came to the realisation of our predicament concerning ecological overshoot, and the conclusion of that, which as we know is we're off the cliff and we'll just be hitting the bottom, and most likely ending in extinction for not just Homo sapiens but most other species on the planet. And that was about 6 years ago.
5
2019?
years ago. Yeah, or maybe 2019, 2020.
2019,
Yeah.
2020.
And I think the part that you're going to read is the remnants, is the only remaining...
It's the only remaining part online that you can
of that
find
essay.
now of that essay, and it's the conclusion of the essay, and I really like it because it's entitled Love, and it starts off with what else is there to do now? After she's gone through and listed all the things that we talk about every week here on Music for the End of the World, planetary boundaries being breached, climate change, biodiversity loss, species decline, ocean acidification, desertification, deforestation, microplastics, forever chemicals, everything. She's such a great writer, and I just found it very easy to read. And I think I'd sort of known all those things, but I hadn't really put them in a clear, logical order that she had. And that's what I think struck me about her essay. And if you're listening, Catherine, I'd really like you to put it back online because it was such a well-written article about our predicament.
Well, it's a little bit like, you know, when people talk about going to a counsellor or talking to your friends or talking to someone, is that at the end of it, you know, you talk about whatever the issue or the concern is, and at the end, you know that, you know, what you were thinking, you knew that all along. It's just a validation, and maybe that's what Catherine Ingram was able to do, was to validate the thoughts that people were having, or that people who were working through all those different things. And
And
anyway.
you know, she not only did she outline the predicament and all the associated crises involved with that, but also the whole thing about human psychology, cognitive dissonance, all that sort of stuff. Why people aren't talking about
And I
it,
think
all
she,
that sort
I
of
think
thing.
she also went,
was-
like last week, or was it? Yes, last week we were talking about the stages of grief.
Yes.
And I think she also talked about that as well, because she was talking about just
Yes.
the different, like the
Spoke about that
phases
too.
that you would
Yeah.
you would go through when you start processing this information.
I think,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
it is it's the most well-rounded, complete essay, I suppose, but writing on our predicament. It encapsulates everything about what's happening, why it's happening, why we aren't doing anything about it, and, of course, the last part, which is what else is there to do now, entitled Love. And that's what I'm going to be reading a little bit and talking a little bit about from tonight, with Cass, of course. But first up, I think I'll play a song, and I'm breaking from tradition because I'm going to play a song for little Safi.
Is the one you played? I think you've played.
No,
Oh,
I played
you
Little
might-
Ray of Sunshine
Okay.
last week. But
I thought
this
you might have
week-
been breaking into a Gimme song for your first song.
Thank you. Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Cass, because I am just breaking straight into a gimme song.
Of
Normally I
course.
save the end
Oh,
of
no,
the show.
towards
That's
the end.
right.
Okay.
And I have played this song before, but I think it's a great song to play, seeing we're talking about love. And this goes out to little Safi, who will be coming home tomorrow, or I think tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
And it's called Love Will Keep Us Together, of course, by our favourite band, the Gimmies.
Would you settle for Captain and Tennille? Love will keep us together. Yes. All right. All right.
Yeah, all right. That's the gimmies. Love will keep us together. All right, Doomers. Back to Catherine Ingram's last section of her essay on extinction. And she starts off saying this: what else is there to do now? Here we are, some of the last humans who will experience this beautiful planet since Homo sapiens began their journey some 200,000 years ago. Now, in facing extinction of our species, you may wonder if there is any point in going on, if your future projects make no sense anymore, if you feel it unwise to have children, and that things are going to get really hard and bad. You may not want to bother living any longer. Yet, there are other ways to use your attention that makes life still relevant and even beautiful. She goes on to talk about her career, I think, as a Dharma guide, I think she might be. She's led public sessions and silent retreats around the world, encouraging people to manage their own attention by moving it into present awareness, and quite a sort of Buddhist sort of philosophy, I suppose, Cass. And then she goes on to say, you can find that you can choose calm, you can choose gratitude, you can choose love. And Jonathan Franzen, winner of the National Book Award and many other literary honours, wrote in his latest book, The End of the Earth, and this is quote, even in a world of dying, new loves continue to be born. So this is now the time to give yourself over to what you love, perhaps in new and deeper ways. Your family and friends, your animal friends, the plants around you, even if that means just the little sprouts that push their way through the sidewalk in the city, or the feeling of the breeze on your skin, or the taste of food, or the refreshment of water, or that beautiful rainbow we had this afternoon, Cass.
Yeah, how beautiful was that?
What a cracker. That was straight out our back window. It was huge. It was definitely a pot of gold at the end of that one. The refreshment of water, or the thousands of little things that make up your world and which are your own unique treasures and pleasures. Make your moments sparkle within the experience of your own senses and direct your attention to anything that gladdens your heart. Live your bucket list now, she goes on. And I reckon that's pretty, what do you call something which is very, very true and
very accurate.
Accurate. There's a word for it. Pressing into something. I forget. There's a good word that describes that. Such a great idea. What are some of the things that you find your love and beauty in, Cass?
Oh, well, I think as
Catherine.
As Catherine or whoever the other was, I can't remember if it was Catherine or the other
yes.
author
Yeah.
who was saying it's it's simple things, isn't it? Like enjoying, looking out and seeing beautiful rainbows and looking at the trees growing. I mean, at the moment we're getting that early spring feeling.
Yeah,
and
I know.
those
So early.
incredibly beautiful
Cherry blossoms are out already.
And you look at the blossoms and you think how incredible. And I suppose it's just being in the moment and appreciating those things that you would normally walk past or be busy because you're thinking about what you do next or what else is happening.
Your job or something.
And just enjoying it. And of course, most importantly, really is family.
Family and friends.
Thinking about your family and being in contact with your family, spending time with your
That's
family.
Right. That's what's really worthwhile.
That is, for me, the most important things.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm pretty much the same. And of course, we've got this radio show too. That's one of our loves.
Absolutely.
Love coming on here, Doomsters, every Wednesday. Because there's not much for us, is there really? Although I do notice little snippets of collapse poking in to mainstream media now and then. Like that show I was telling you about, was it last night, Cass? Summer Love. It's a show on the ABC. Different. It's about a beach house and different people come each episode and it's about their little quirks and loves and stuff. And this one was about someone cracked up at this couple who had a child saying, you think I'm selfish, what about you? You just had a child, they're not even going to see their 50th birthday. They're not going to see the magic of the barrier reef and blah, 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 all the stuff that we talk about. It's sort of coming
Yeah, no, it is.
coming into
as we said,
mainstream just a little bit here and there. I mean, eventually, no one will be able to ignore it. But
well, I think the big when you see where it really changes, where the zeitgeist changes, though, is that, as you're saying, so that's ABC, which is always one of those things, isn't it? When often if you're watching ABC,
that's an ABC,
SBS,
not a sitcom, but a comedy drama show.
Yeah, but quite often the kinds of things that ABC used to have, or SBS, you're speaking to the converted, like when you watch, whether you watch different documentaries or shows or interviews with people, you're sort of already on the same page. It's going to be one. And at the moment, the Guardian obviously always has lots of different articles, and again doesn't necessarily.
No, they always have the if. There's always an if in the article.
That's right. They don't make that definitive call.
If we do this, if we do that,
but
they don't make the last step. But they're getting there.
But it's getting there.
Yeah.
However, it's not the mainstream though. Is still in. It's still. Swishing it all over, and it's all the gloss and glamour and aspirations and watch 20 million.
That's
ads
why when
in
David
between
Suzuki came out, we spoke about it before.
Yeah.
Finally, my admiration of him just shot up tenfold when I heard what he'd said about how we've lost. It's all lost now. Hope is lost. We can't save it. We can't do anything. And I was going on about Richard Attenborough saying, why doesn't he come out? But then, after this Summer Love show that I watched, there was a thing about Bega cheese. Actually, it was about cheese making, and Carl Krasinski, Dr. Carl from Triple J, was down at the Bega cheese factory and talking about cheese and stuff. And I was thinking, why doesn't Dr. Carr come out and said something like Dave Suzuki? I mean, he's a smart guy. He wouldn't know.
It'd be worthwhile ringing up.
Well, that's what I
ring up on one of his
forecast.
shows. He has questions and
yes,
asks
when he has
things
questions, I ring up and say, Carl,
how do you deal?
How do you
with
feel about our ecological
wax?"
overshoot, bro? Yeah, I know. I might do that. Okay, Doomsters, you're listening to Music for the End of the World. It is time now for some messages from our lovely sponsors.
With a vision to create an inclusive world for all, Encore Support is now offering their compassionate care and services on the Sapphire Coast. Encore supports individuals of all ages to live in their communities with a sense of well-being, independence and belonging. Call them now on 02 4402 9231. They're ready to assist. Encore Support. The more you're looking for. Encore Support is a proud sponsor of 93.7 Edge FM.
My name is Nick Benson. I'm a registered tax agent and Xero certified advisor, and I've recently moved to the Bega Valley. If you're running a business or have a rental property, or if you just need help with your tax return, I can provide tax and bookkeeping services for you, and I can make sure you maximise your deductions. Individuals, sole traders and partnerships, and even multiple years are no problem. I can prepare tax returns back to 2014. It's never too late to lodge your tax return. Call me on 0494 138 552. Find me on Facebook or the web by searching for NLB Tax. NLB Tax is proud to support your local community radio station, Edge FM.
Thank you, Nick. And I can highly recommend Nick because he does my tax as well. Okay, back to Catherine Ingram's last part of her essay on extinction, talking about what to do now. What else is there to do? And she goes on to say that here are some simple reflections or actions that might be helpful. Find your community or create one. People are beginning to wake up and speak about this all over the world. Extinction Rebellion, which began in the UK, now has gatherings in many cities in Europe, North America, Australia. There's also several online extinction-aware groups. Near-term human extinction is one that comes to mind. You may want to start discussions in your own home with friends and neighbours. People have been thinking about these matters and discussing issues such as community gardens, water and safety, and there is online information along those lines. These ideas can be adapted to suit different communities' needs. Having community around you is important both for mental well-being and for what Jem Bendell covers in his online paper Deep Adaptation, a map for navigating climate strategy. I've spoken about Jem Bendel before on the show about his deep adaptation. Take a look also at resilience.org and at Dar Jamal's columns on truthout.org, where you'll find dozens of climate articles and data. For those who prefer audio, Michael Shaw, he's terrific. He did that. He wrote that. He wrote and directed that short film, Living in the Time of Dying, which I'm pretty sure you can get on YouTube.
That's right.
From the Northern Rivers.
I haven't thought about that for a long time.
It's a great film.
Yeah.
And what a great title, Living in the Time of Dying, because that's what we're doing. We're here witnessing the end, which is sort of a bit of an honour, really. I mean, if you look at human history, it's being here at the end, seeing it all coming down. There's also private Facebook groups, just like Near-Term Human Extinction, Collapse Aware, Prepping for Near-Term Human Extinction, all support groups for people who are just like you and me, who need some... Well, it's just nice to be able to talk about this with like-minded people, Cass.
I think one of the hardest things, isn't it, is finding that time and space. I mean, the groups provide that, but in some ways, we're most probably, meeting people and seeing people that if you don't have that sort of chance to have a little bit more of a deeper conversation, is that they most probably, could have quite similar ideas, but because, conversations you keep just sort of a little bit more, a sort of a surface level that you don't sort of, as we were saying before, it's that not fear's not the right word, but you're careful and you're cautious, because coming out and saying this is what I think, then people go, okay, you're crazy.
This is what's happening.
You're a conspiracy theorist.
Yes,
you don't believe in these things. So it means that
and you have to be careful, at your place
talk.
of work. You can't just come
absolutely.
out and say.
But it means that it sort of prohibits you in that.
It does.
In your general conversations to be able to find people that actually identify on the same level, who actually might go, oh, thank goodness, that's exactly what I think. I just haven't, sort of felt that I could talk about it with anyone. So those groups are, are a starting point. But quite often with those groups online, I think they're fantastic. But you're
distant. I mean, you're not
exactly.
face to face. It's always much more rewarding being face to face.
And the thing of setting up and being part of a community, it's irrelevant. I mean, people don't have to have exactly the same view. You just want those same values, and through that, I'm sure at some point, you can talk about some of those other things. I think Tristan from Tasmania, from
Just Collapse,
talks about that the communities down there. I'm sure there are lots of people that he comes into contact with that.
And that's
not
that's
on the
their
same
big
page.
thing is fostering your local community,
and it's
groups.
the conversations that you have, and
Surgeon planning,
not
that's
being
right.
and not being not being zealot, but I mean to have them in a sort of a slow, comfortable way, so that people are not feeling attacked or overwhelmed by it, but just to be able to have those conversations.
Because it is a frightening thing, a depressing thing, and particularly if you have young children, if you're a family with young children. It's people don't want to know about it.
But the thing with it is,
they will. Eventually, they will have to.
But what
they'll
you
have
want,
to acknowledge it.
Everyone has the same aim, which is wanting to have, or not everyone, but I mean, ultimately, you want to have a good life, and so all the kinds of things that we're talking about, appreciating nature.
You're telling me that my life can't
time.
go on like it has been? Oh, what? No.
But lots of people want to make that change, though. Lots of people want to step out of the roller coaster that we're on, because it's not fulfilling in so many different ways apart from the overshoot aspect of it. So I think just people with families making a change to go, want to spend time with my children, want to have a good life, want to appreciate the nature that we have while we've got it, while, as we keep hearing things, the heating up, the bleaching of the corals, the barrier reef and the WA reef,
But that's why we also have the show too, Cass, is one, I wanted to do a show because there's nothing on the radio that I can hear that is for doomers, right? So I wanted to do something that we can listen to, because we're all on the same wavelength. We know what's happening, people. We know that we're off the cliff. We know that extinction is coming. and we can talk about when you think it's going to affect you personally, but all we know it's coming and that it is exponentially coming, which means quicker. But you need that time. That's what, and the other reason why is to tell people, because it takes a long time to wrap your head around it. I mean, like I've said before, 6 years ago, was it, or something, that I had my sort of epiphany, my realisation, and I have come to terms with it, but I'm still coming to terms with it in a way, and it takes a while for you to get through that, anger and depression to finally come to acceptance. And so I think the longer people have to be able to get their heads around it, the sooner they realise, the better off they will be.
Oh, absolutely. Particularly
rather than when suddenly, bang, there's no food in the supermarkets,
or really bad,
or supply chains are broken down and your power's off, and the government says, "Oh, I'm sorry," but then it's much more chance of more chaos, anarchy. All right, time for another song. And I'm going to play an Australian song, because I did say I will be playing some songs from, still a couple more from the hottest 100 to 200 that we had here. And this, I'm pretty sure, From the Sea, that was on the hottest 200, babe?
Yeah, Eskimo Joe?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
All right, here we go. From the Sea, because that's where we all came from. And we'll all be going back to the primordial gook, which it won't be a very nice sea, but that's where we're all going back sooner or later. Eskimo Joe, From the Sea.
I'm so special today. I could have slept for days. It's like a radar, and it comes to you from the sea, from the sea, from the sea.
Eskimo Joe and From the Sea. That was in the top Triple J hottest 100 to 200, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Back to Catherine Ingram's essay on extinction. Talking about what else is there to do now? She goes on to say find your calm. In addition to wisely directing your attention, include also whatever daily activities induce greater calm in your life. Walking in nature, slow meal with loved ones, or on your own, reading or listening to music, dancing, swimming, whatever your thing is. Give priority to it every day, Cass. Your relaxation and calm is not an indulgence, but rather a tune-up for your mental and physical well-being, which leads to a more awake and responsive intelligence. And then she goes on to say that release dark visions of the future and pace your intake of climate news. Although frightening pictures about what is to come in the future may arise in your imagination, it is best not to entertain them. It's also helpful to pace yourself in reading or watching news of climate chaos. There is a tendency, once climate catastrophe grabs the attention, to keep staring at fresh news of it as though transfixed by a plane crash in real time. And I've got to say, babe, once you come to the realisation, there's no going back. It's there with you. And you see everything through that prism, that lens. Don't you find that?
Yeah, well, it's certainly it's confirmation, isn't it? Like now, I mean, you look at all the natural disasters, you look at the temperatures rising, you look at all those things.
But when you're talking to people, when you're having conversations, when they're talking about stuff, maybe they're talking about future plans, you know, how their 2-year-old's going to go to university, become a doctor, and don't you sort of... Yeah, I don't say anything, of course, but in your mind you think,
of course.
In your dreams, bro, you know? There's no way they're getting there. There won't be any university, you know? Collapse is what it's about. I find that. And so Catherine says, resist being constantly immersed in the increasing data of the chaos. Have a fast from the news as needed and rest your weary mind. One of my friends, she says, periodically unplugs and walks in mountains. Another unplugs and works for hours in his garden. They're both keenly aware of unfolding climate realities with the inevitable sadness that comes with that awareness. And it is extremely sad. Like we were talking about the stages of grief, it's very saddening. Yet both, she goes on to say, have learned to manage and enjoy the precious time that is left. Living by a Navajo ethos, may you walk in beauty. And that's a pretty good thing to think about, really.
I like that saying.
Yeah. And almost finished. But before we do, we'll play another... actually, we should have some more messages from our sponsors. Who without, we would not be here.
Are you looking for a quality new or used car? You can't go past the South Coast's premium motor dealers, Rondoil Motors and Eden Mazda, at 113 Princes Highway, Eden. They are dealers for Mazda, Isuzu and Nissan, as well as having a great range of quality used cars and full workshop and parts facilities. Rondoil Motors and Eden Mazda are well known for their outstanding customer service and excellent workshop. Give them a call on 64961 420 or check out the website at rondoilmotors.com.au. Rondoil Motors and Eden Mazda are sponsors of 93.7 Edge FM.
Tathra Tyres and Auto have been servicing motor vehicles in Tathra since 1993. Ron, Paddy and Matt are proud supporters of Bega's community radio station, 93.7 Edge FM.
Thank you, dear sponsors. All right, time for a song. And I'm going to play another one from Triple J Hottest 100 to 200. And this is by Frenzal Rom. And this is for Belly up on the Sunshine Coast, where she's having a terrific time up there in the lovely warm weather. And
it's raining.
Oh, it's raining.
At the moment. I think those big downpours they're talking on the north coast, whatever. I think they're getting them up in Queensland as well. But I think it's still warm though, but just not
warmer than here. They're not getting frosts. Anyway, this is for you, Belly. Never Had So Much Fun by Frenzal Rom.
I can't see a thing through my eyes that sting. I can't remember having so much fun. Well, I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can't remember when I've ever had so much fun. You can't see the water in Sydney, you can't eat the food in Japan, and you can't be the air in Los Angeles, but a million people think they can. And I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can remember when I've never had so much fun. These make us build up with hatred. Why expect any less? If they can't decide about genocide, I think it's time that they took a rest. Now I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can remember when I've never had so much fun. I try to compensate blindly for mistakes, trying to make things right. I follow redemptions of the best intentions, but it's always ending up in a fight. And I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can remember when I've never had so much. I can remember when I've never had so much. I can remember when I've never had so much fun. I can remember when I've never had so much fun.
Yes, Frenzal Rom.
That was a short one. How long was that?
Oh, yeah. Well, they only short ones. They're a little bit like the gimmies. How long is that? 2 minutes and 1 second.
There you go.
Never had so much fun. Sometimes when you have a lot of fun, it only lasts for a little while. You're listening to 93.7 Edge FM here on Music for the End of the World. And I'm going through the last section of Catherine Ingram's essay on extinction. And she's giving some suggestions as to what you can do. Apart from living your life by the Navajo ethos, may you walk in beauty. Here's another one. Be of service, she says. Know that whatever is to be in the future, it will feel good to be of service in whatever ways your gifts can be used, and on any scale that feels right and true. Whether in your personal life, of family and friends, or in a larger community. There is no need to keep accounts of whether your actions will someday pay off. Being of service feels good for its own sake and gives your life meaning, a sense that you're being well used, like good compost in the field of life. Do you do any service, Cass? I believe you do.
I like to be of service, so I
Yeah.
hope that I do. It's like anything. It's
Yeah.
that
You do some community
is,
service
Giving is
down
very
at the
rewarding.
library.
Yeah, it's not just those things.
No,
it's,
no,
it's
it's
the
not just
things
those
of
things.
helping friends or helping
right.
family.
That's right.
That's all. I think it's a very
Yeah,
rewarding and satisfying thing.
yeah. And this one, which it resonates with me, I think, is be grateful. Longevity was never a guarantee for anyone at any time of history. Whatever time is left to us, we are the lucky ones. We got to experience life despite the overwhelming odds of that not being the case, as biologist Richard Dawkins often points out. I mean, the chances of you or me being here are, I don't know, I think it's in the billions, like 1 in a billion or something. It's like the chances of you being alive is infinitesimal. So we should be grateful for actually being alive in the first stance, and then at this point in history, really, being here at the end, seeing how it all unfolds. That's, in some ways, that's a bit of an honour, really. I mean, you have to look at it like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you said it's certainly very, they're very, what do you say, not potential times. What do you talk about when you talk about like times of
Portents.
great significance? So portents.
Well, this is a time of great significance.
But significance where there's so much change,
Yeah,
where this sort of counterpoint, and it's the height of all the sort of the development from everything that in our lifetime. You think of all the developments that have been made, all the good and the bad
In
of
200
the
years,
industrial.
just in 200 years, or even in our lifetime, like you say.
Well, in our
That's
lifetime,
right.
just look in the last,
look in our
what's
lifetime.
happened in the last 50 years,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
think, wow, it's incredible, developments and inventions, a lot of extreme, useless kinds of
Technology.
things, but you've seen this incredible change, and now we're sitting at the point with, watching
In the
the
Anthropocene,
changes.
at the, we read about them. We learn about them when you study history and biology. You learn about the great extinction events that happened. I think 6 or 7 or something. And here we are, in one ourselves. It's just happening a lot quicker, though, of course, than the ones that previously. But yeah, it's. I think we should be grateful. When we think of all the times that our ancestors had to thread the needle of survival, I mean, there's been quite a few times when you think about the history of Homo sapiens, which is 200, 250, between 200 and 300,000 years, modern humans. And in that time, we have almost died out, like with extinction events and things happening. I think I was reading somewhere that the number of humans at one stage maybe got down to a few thousand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some really weird number, like
Really?
not 100,000, but not even 20,000, maybe 10. But I think it was less than 10. Like it was, or 12. Maybe it was 12,000. It was like a small amount worldwide. That's crazy thought, isn't it? But we managed to hang in there until now. There's eight. What is it? 8.4 billion, or what's the number?
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
As they're saying, I mean, that the populations are dropping around the place. So you're starting.
Fertility
to see
rate
some
is
of
dropping.
The changes.
The world
fertility
global
and
population is
choices.
still rising, but fertility rates are dropping. Yeah, not just in Homo sapiens though, like in many species.
Absolutely, in lots of different species.
Yeah, yeah. All right, time for another song, Dermers. What are we going to do? I think you say we've played this song before, Cass.
It would have been quite a while ago, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play it again. Love in the Time of Coral Reefs, because they are going. And I very much doubt whether our grandchildren will ever see the barrier reef. I mean, the barrier reef alive with coral and fish and marine life. They might see a bleached barrier reef, but I don't know whether they'll see the good thing. Anyway, here it is, Rue Mundy with Love in the Time of Coral Reefs.
If only I had known you in the time of coral reefs, before we lost the permafrost, when there were bears up there, we could have met, fallen in love, could have got married and had kids if we wanted. It could have been simple for us too. Simple for us. Do you think we would have travelled? Could we have managed a mortgage, sent our kids to local schools, and campaigned to change the rules so that we wouldn't pull the ladder up behind us like our parents did to us? Could we swallowed the coast before the wildfires spread our heads. Only full of love I would have loved you. We would have made our vows while the island nations drowned. We let them go, 'cause we were richer, they were poorer. We were better, they were worse off. So we watched them sink without a word, ignored the screams, ignored the Gulf Stream slowing down, ignored the drip of melting ice, the drip, drip, drip of melting ice. Do you remember when we still had time? If not to reverse things, well, at least not to cause worse things. And we decided not to. It was easier not to. Remember when we thought that it was windmills on hills that spoiled the landscape? Remember the landscape. Remember the land. If only I had known you in the time of coral reefs, before we lost the permafrost, when there were bears up there, were bears up there.
Rumundi with Love in the Time of Coral Reefs. 10 minutes to go, Cass. In Music for the End of the World. And I've almost finished the last section of Catherine Ingram's essay entitled, well, her essay on extinction, and the last section is entitled Love. And these are things that you can think about doing in this time of collapse. We had be of service, be grateful. Here's another good one I like. Give up the fight with evolution. It wins, baby. The story about a human misstep in history, the imaginary point at which we could have taken a different route, is a pointless mental exercise. And you read a lot about that in some of the groups, like, oh, if only we hadn't done this, if only we hadn't done that, if humans... It's no.
Well, it's always that.
What
thing,
is the point?
What if is just?
I think
a
it was
spiral,
always
isn't it?
decreed. It was. This was where we were headed. I read an article by someone, was it Bill Rees or some excellent thinker, biologist, about how our brains are just not suited to modern life. Our brains are the brains of cave dwellers, hunter and gatherers, and just not suited to this sort of life that we have now, which is so complicated and involved and is completely wrapped up in multitude of systems. And
well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you talk about like in our evolution, and now with the move towards AI, and one of the things they're saying about that, of course, is the fact that it's shutting down critical thinking, people's critical thinking, because you can go, okay, get AI to do this or that, or get it to troll all the information and get these things done. And so what we really need is to be, ultimately survival is about being critical thinkers, to be able to see beyond our immediate sort of space and to look at, what are the consequences and causes and what information do you take and, how do you sort of process that information? So it's almost like we've gotten to this point where we say, how fantastic. We've gotten to a point that we've got, now we've developed this AI. We're
We
so
don't need to
smart.
think.
But what we're doing is actually we're creating what we're bringing up in our society is encouraging non-thinkers.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy.
Yes, give up on evolution. Our evolution is based on quintillions of Earth motions, incremental biological adaptations, survival necessities, and human desires. Like Catherine says, we are right where we were headed all along. This was it. This was the end point. So despite our having caused so much destruction, it is important to also consider the wide spectrum of possibilities, Catherine writes, that make up a human life. Yes, on one end of that spectrum is greed, cruelty and ignorance. Very easy to see that, particularly amongst our leaders and the billionaire class. On the other end is kindness, compassion and wisdom. We are imbued with great creativity, brilliant communication and extraordinary appreciation of and talent for music and other forms of art. I've got to say, music is one of my, something that calms you and centres you. And
I thought you were going to say creative outlet, but no, you're thinking more on
well, that
becoming
too, but
something that's
solace, a form of solace for me. That's the word. Yeah. An extraordinary appreciation of and talent for music and other forms of art. We cry in tenderness when we are touched by love or beauty or loss. We cry in empathy for others' pain. Some of us even sacrifice our lives for strangers. There is no other known creature whose spectrum of consciousness is as wide and varied as our own. And that's certainly true. And you likely know well the spectrum of human consciousness within yourself. Perhaps you have had many moments when greed or hatred overtook your mind. But it is likely that you've also had many moments when you knew that love was all that ever really mattered. And in your final breath, it's likely to be all that's left of you. A cosmic story whispered only once. As Leonard Cohen said, and this is Catherine writing, as Leonard Cohen said, it is in love that we are made, and in love we disappear. You got to love Leonard. Might have a tear welling up after reading that quote from Leonard. And that, Doomers, was the last part of Catherine Ingram's essay on extinction. And I just wish that she would put it back online, Catherine, if you're listening, because it's such a well-written, the first part of it, which documents our predicament and how we got here and why we got here and all the things to do with it, is so well-written. And I did have a copy. I did print it out when I first read it on the internet. And
well, printed it and then
damned
also
if I
gave
can
to
find it,
people.
babe.
I think it'll be in a box.
It's in one of
somewhere.
our
Just
damn boxes in the shed.
keep unpacking.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's coming up to the hour, Doomers. We'll be back next week. And I now have a YouTube channel up if you want to listen to past episodes of the show. And I am now, since last week I put it up, I publish and put a little note on my Facebook groups of the episode tonight. Probably in 2 days it'll be up, so if you missed it, you can, I'll give you the link and you click on there and you can listen to it in your own time. If you...
Without the music, though, unfortunately.
Oh, no, it depends where you are in the world. There are
Okay.
copyright issues, they're only in some sections. South America seems to really be a really bad place for copyright. Australia, we've got
Well,
most
bad
of the...
or good. I mean, it's a good thing that they do, that copyright, makes sure
Yeah,
that...
but I mean, if you're making money out of it, we're not making money out of it.
True,
We're just,
true.
spreading the word. But yes, in Australia, I think it's pretty fine. And I'm pretty sure over in Sweden it's okay. I'm not sure about the States. I hope it's okay. New Zealand's all right. Anyway, if you haven't come across the YouTube channel of for Music for the End of the World, if you in YouTube, go to YouTube, and if you put in, babe, what's the acronym for Music for the End of the World?
MF.
Well, T-E-O-T-W. Look, music for the end of the world. Just put the acronym in, and then you'll most likely get my channel. So we will see you next week. And like I say in every episode, from Just Collapse, collapse is inevitable, but justice is not. There are still many things that we can do, and I've listed a few here that Catherine suggested in her article. So I know we have to deal with our stages of grief, and maybe you're in depression or anger, but you'll get out of it eventually and go to another part of grief. Okay, one last song, and this song is for B in Canberra, who I know listens to our show religiously every week.
She just has mentioned she's only tuned in for the end bit, unfortunately.
Oh,
so
well, B, you
timing,
tuned in at the right time because we are playing this song for you. And this show has been all about love tonight, and we do love you, and Steve, of course, but he can't listen tonight because the reception's not good. But this is for you, B, in lovely, warm Canberra. Thinking of you. And this is My Island Home by DMP, which is a band from the Solomon Islands, which is our second home, isn't it, Cass?
Yes.
We love the Sols. Lots of good friends there, lots of good memories. Been back a few times. We'll be back again, and hopefully some of our friends will be coming out. Just visit us. This is My Island Home by DMP, and it's goodbye from me.
And it's good night from me.
Good night, Cass. Catch you all next week, Damers.
Zaga. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. Hey. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh. Oh, no, 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 no. Living on the island, South Pacific and money. Been upon the vibes and me go specific. Join the whites and the beaches, blacks and the beaches. Cooking on the open, 5 minutes up on trees. Pull around in fire till the early morning. Can't wait for me go back to me home country. Love to meet me brothers and me old family. Send me jump on the plane, now me jump on the